Hey everybody, it's Natural Juan here. This is an unscheduled episode, and this won't contain any of my usual topics like tabletop RPGs, anime, and books. This episode in particular is just my response to a question by Pinoy, the American guy who took the trouble to understand Filipino or Tagalog so he can make videos in Tagalog that we Filipinos can appreciate. And yeah, with all the effort he's putting into what he does, I can't help but make a response to that. So anyway, like I said, this won't be a regular video. So if you're looking for my usual content that contains stuff about TTRPGs, manga, or literature, you can wait for my next video. You can just skip this one. And I'll warn you beforehand, this might cover a few sensitive topics, so if that's not something you enjoy, well, like I said, better skip this one. So okay, let's get started. So Pinoy asked me about my religion. He asked me if I still believe in God and heaven and stuff like that. And I'll answer, yes, I still do. I still keep the faith. I still believe in God. I still believe in a heaven. I believe in Jesus and that He is the salvation of the world like they say He is. But I'm also going to say that in this modern age, people are more confused and bewildered than ever before. In fact, I think the way the internet has made the world smaller, it's made people more confused, in fact. And I don't doubt God, I don't doubt Jesus, but I doubt a lot of the people who claim to be following Him now. And I'm going to drop some words here, and it might hurt a few people, but I'm just going to say it as it is. There is nothing more dangerous to Christianity and Christendom than false Christians. That means that there are a lot of people who like to talk about the Bible, use a lot of Bible quotes. They put them on their profiles and stuff like that. They'll even say, "Oh, this is my favorite Bible verse," and all that. But at the end of the day, they don't practice what they preach. In fact, I've seen, at least on social media, I'm talking about Pinoy social media. I don't want to judge other people's social media in other countries because, frankly, I don't think I have any right to comment on them. But at least here in the Philippines, I've seen that I see a lot of awful people who will say a lot of awful things who actually use Bible quotes on their Facebook. Not just Facebook, it can be their Twitter, their Instagram, everywhere. They use a lot of Bible quotes, like particularly the one that says, "For God so loved the world, He gave us His only Son." I want to say this much. I'm not really big into chapter and verses because, well, I guess it's good for record-keeping purposes. In fact, it's similar to how you'd actually name a date in history. Like you can say 6th of June, 6th of June 1944 when they invaded Normandy. So I guess you can also use Bible verses like that. We can name your chapter and verse and say a quote, but I for one think it's more the content of the actual verse is more important than the chapter and verse you identify them by. And even if you do know the chapter and verse, it doesn't matter if you can't put what's on that chapter and verse into practice in your own life. Not that I'm judging anyone. I think that I've always thought that the Bible is meant to guide you personally. Like, what I read is something personal to me. It's what God wants me to do. It's what I, oh God, it's hard to get into theological and philosophical stuff like this, but I believe in finding a personal relationship with the God, and that it's what He has something for each of us. Me, I already know a bit about what He wants me to do, but I think everyone else has something different. And it is not my place to tell you anything. It's not my place to tell other people that, hey, this is what God wants you to do. This is what Jesus wants you to do. No, because what Jesus has with me might be different from what Jesus has for this person or that person and everyone else. Now, it can be a small thing. Maybe what Jesus wants this person to do is be a good father to his children. Maybe what Jesus wants this person to do is to be a hardworking person for his company. Maybe Jesus wants this guy over here to help the poor. So for all of us, it'll be different because all of us aren't the same. And I think God knows that. And the people who insist that we should be alike, I think they're the ones that are in the wrong, because you can only judge a person by their actions, not by their thoughts or their motives, because how can you be sure that that's their thoughts, that those are their thoughts and motives? How can you be sure that this is what this person wants? You can only judge them by their actions and according to the law. So if a man or woman kills another person, they are murderers. Especially if they don't have any good reason for doing that, or if their reasons are selfish, then they are murderers and should be treated as such. See, but you can't say anything else about them. Like maybe that man or woman killed out of envy. Maybe the person they killed they were envious because maybe that person was richer or richer or more talented than they are, or maybe that person is their love interest and that person likes another person more than they are. See, it's a love triangle thing. So we can't judge them by that because everybody feels like that sometimes. But the fact that they took it too far, that they're willing to kill, I think that's what we should judge them for. And like I said, it's a personal thing. It's between you and God. So it's not something we should judge other people for. And again, putting Pinoy, your question about my beliefs in heaven is that we don't really have that much evidence about heaven because I don't really know anyone who's died and come back. But I'd like to believe there's an afterlife, that there's a heaven, and that we'll meet the people we once loved. I'll meet them again. But in case it's not true, I can live with that. I mean, I can die with that. If that's what you're asking. It just is. And it's all up to God anyway. If God tells me, oh, you haven't earned your place with your family. If my actions do not measure up, if everything I've done was worthless, I can live with that. I have maybe not live with that, but I'll accept that. He's God after all. It's not my place to say anything after that. And okay. So this is more of a rant than an actual content, I know, but I wanted to, make a proper response for your question, Puting Pinoy. You deserve it, I think. You deserve a good and at least partially thought out response. Yeah, it's only partially thought out because I'm just blabbing here. So, okay, here's some announcements. And here are some announcements for anyone who's still out there. So, I won't be making as many videos as I was before. I will limit it to 1 to 3 videos per week because stuff's not, like I said before, stuff isn't good in the Philippines, and I really need to put more effort into my work. And it's especially bad now because it looks like we're gonna have another lockdown, and that can be really bad for me. But I'm gonna try to at least make 2 videos a week, and if I can't do that, at least I'll make 1 video a week. Okay? Promise you guys that. It's okay. This is the end of the video. Have a good day, good night, or whatever time it is where you are. Bye bye.